Hope leaders. We are out here today on this quasi-warm February day. We are officially halfway through looking at the top 10 leadership principles that I refer to that are on my desk, and we've been working systematically through them. And today is number 5. I really hope these have been an encouragement to you. I hope that you've got something out of it and it helped you in your personal ministry. Number 5 that we're going to look at today is it's kind of a tough one. This one takes self-discipline, and we don't like self-discipline because that's hard, it's uncomfortable sometimes, but here's the principle. The principle is that a great leader is able to lead themselves first. Boy, isn't that tough sometimes? I mean, we want to lead others and lead ministries, but sometimes leadership really starts with us. It starts with how we live our lives and the habits we form and doing things that are hard or uncomfortable for the sake of growth. This can be challenging for all of us. You know, we think about ministry and we say, I want to be a great small group leader, I want to be a great disciple maker, and yet what does that require? You know, the Bible talks about things called spiritual disciplines, and spiritual disciplines are those practices that we can live out, and they help us grow as a follower of Christ. So for example, the Bible talks about the discipline of reading your Bible and praying. And that's so important. And then the discipline of solitude and taking time to be alone with God and away from the distractions and the crazy. Why? Because again, it's a good for us. It's good for us spiritually. It helps us to stay healthy. And so, but they're hard, aren't they? And yet, that's the challenge. I remember years ago, I was at a conference, and a former pastor and speaker, author, John Maxwell, was speaking. And he made this comment. He said, everything worthwhile in life is uphill. And that's why we're here today. This is a hill, and we're walking up this hill, and he says everything in life that really matters, that really has value, is uphill. And it takes effort. It takes effort to walk uphill. It takes effort to do that. And so it raises the question here of am I willing to do the things that takes, the effort it takes to walk up the hill, so to speak, figuratively speaking? Am I willing to do what it takes? Am I willing to lead myself? And so again, you say, I want to be a great small group leader. That's great, but what is that going to require of you? Or I want to be a great counselor, or again, disciple maker. I want to have great influence in the lives of people. Well, that requires for you and I then to lead ourselves, to take those steps necessary to grow. And so again, everything worthwhile in life, it's uphill. It takes effort. And then Maxwell says something else that really convicted me. He said, while everything worthwhile in life is uphill, he said, don't have uphill hopes, but downhill habits. Ouch. Uphill hopes, but downhill habits. The number of times in my life I've had these uphill hopes. I want to see God do great things in my life. I want to accomplish great things. I want to reach mountaintops, if you will. And yet the way I live my life, I have these downhill habits. I do what's easy. I do what's comfortable. I don't want to push myself. I don't want to lead myself. I don't want to be disciplined. And it becomes really, really challenging. I remember in Colorado, if you're really cool in Colorado, you will have climbed a 14er. And a 14er is one of those mountains that are 14,000 feet high in altitude. And I can proudly say, sort of, that I have accomplished 2 of them. And yet the 2 that I have accomplished are actually the 2 that you can drive to the top. And that's what I did. I just drove. And the view is breathtaking. You get to the top of the mountain, the view is breathtaking, but I wouldn't call it an accomplishment. You know, in our lives as well, I want to ask, what are your uphill hopes? What are the things that you're just really trusting God for? You want to see Him do it in your life and in your ministry? What is that uphill hope that you have? And I want to ask you to take some time to think about your habits. Do you have downhill habits? Are you leading yourself? Remember, great leaders lead themselves. Some things to think about. Appreciate you all. Stay warm. God bless. We'll see you next week.